fellow Ugandans. We take this opportunity to welcome you all to our press conference organized by Plant-Based Treaty Uganda. Plant-Based Treaty is an advocacy that is advocating for plant-based diets and plant-based foods across the world. It is one way of promoting sustainability when it comes to climate change.
Research has shown that 26% of the greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere comes from food production. And more than half of that comes from production of livestock products. So what are we talking about? We are looking at food production as a key contributor or a key threat to climate change. But on the other hand, we are also looking at climate change as a key threat to food security. Can we stop producing food owing to its adverse impact on climate change? Of course, no. Why? Because we have to continue consuming. So what matters therefore is the change in consumption patterns. When we change our consumption patterns, then it will mean that we must change our food production patterns. So to that effect, research is very much into promoting consumption of plant-based diets.
The plant-based treaty is a roadmap to security for securing a healthy planet and healthy citizens, protecting our environment, respecting our planetary boundaries, and restoring balance to our ecosystems. As climate change, biodiversity loss, and food insecurity threaten our future, we cannot afford to delay. By supporting this treaty, we can create a food system that works for all of us, free from over-dependence on imports, rooted in food sovereignty, and build a strong ecosystem that can generate economic opportunities. As you know, our mothers are working in markets like Busega, Karerwe, Nakasero, where foodstuffs of different kind can be found and which are healthier.
My name is Dr. Mukuzi Muhereza. I sometimes add Katongole. I come before you with 20 years of experience of clinical work, of advocacy, and health leadership. It's on that base that I come with two main things. One, to endorse plant-based diets. Number two, to advocate and tell you the benefits vis-a-vis the problems of animal-based. And if you can take four main things from me, I would have done my part. But before that, I must stress that we are not short of plant-based good food. We have nuts back at your mind, whether they are under the ground or they are on nuts on trees. We have grain, whether it is wheat, maize, everything. We have fruits, delicious, wonderful fruits. But also, we have vegetables. You can craft wonderful diets on plant-based, not necessarily that you are going to lack anything when you are taking plant-based. And doing that, you will have four main advantages. As we grow older, because we are becoming a population that can grow older, we are at risk of cardiovascular diseases. And there you can even add type 2 diabetes. plant-based diets have lower cholesterol, but also have the good cholesterol, unsaturated fats. So your risk of cardiovascular events, stroke, hypertensions, are lower when you are taking plant-based. And lastly, is your cognitive. As we grow older, we will start failing to remember, we will become forgetful, Parkinsonism will set in. But when you're taking fruit-based and rather plant-based, the probability of remaining sharp, because here you have neurons. Neurons are the nerves that are in the brain that will connect, and either you remember, or you know this is fire, or you know. So those neurons will be regenerated, and they will be better fed when you are taking plant-based.
Tumwebaze Elias is my name. I'm a lawyer and also an advocate for plant-based treaty and also an activist for climate change. In a country like Uganda, there are some procedures which we would follow and which we would advocate for in order to ensure that this treaty benefits our country and the citizens of Uganda. Our constitution, the 1995 constitution, Article 123(2), it gives the mandate to Parliament to make any laws that help in ratification of such treaties. But also, under the same Article 123, it gives a mandate to the President of Uganda or any authorized officer to sign a treaty or an agreement or an international convention. And from our discussion today, the subject is the plant-based treaty. Under the Ratification of Treaties Act, that is Chapter 190, we see that it is the members of Parliament or the Cabinet who have the power to ratify such treaties. And therefore, we call upon our policymakers, the ministers, the members of Parliament, to develop interest in our plant-based treaty so that our country becomes part of this treaty. Because when you look at the benefits of this treaty, they are far-reaching. They intend to draw us back to plant-based food rather than animal-based food.
We endorsed the plant-based treaty last year because the plant-based treaty is fronting the food system change approach. When we relate this to Uganda, you realize that most of our people, they go through a lot of illness that are attributed to consuming animal products. So the plant-based treaty comes with an approach of solving the food insecurity, regenerating the earth, redirecting the earth, and making sure that we have a sustainable world for us to live, for the animals to live, but also for our future and our posterity. So the plant-based treaty so far has been endorsed by over 220,000 people all over the world, and we are here today as the plant-based treaty Uganda to push it, but also to involve the policymakers to make sure that we work along as a team to push that treaty for the good of our country.
My name is Balimwezo Ronald Nsubuga. I am an engineer, formerly a lecturer at Chambogo University, and now I'm a member of Parliament representing the Nakawa East constituency in the Parliament of Uganda, but I also was the Shadow Minister for Kampala and the Chairperson for the Kampala City Roads Committee. As a person, after listening to you critically, I do wish to appreciate your concerns and therefore endorse and support the plant-based treaty, because this is there to promote the shift towards plant-based diet and food systems aimed at improving health, climate change, and protecting biodiversity. This treaty also focuses on protection, restoration, and the sustainable management of the plants. Because if we don't address sustainability of the plants, then we are absolutely doing nothing. And therefore we need to protect them. And how do we protect them? Through policy. And this is how I come to call upon governments and all other key stakeholders, including international community, international partners, because they have a critical role. Local leaders, they have a critical role of mobilizing masses to support and endorse the plant-based treaty. But also we need the policies, and this is the mandate of members of parliament. So I wish to call upon parliament to provide policy frameworks that will be able to sustain what we are trying to do. I call upon the international partners to give us guidance, but also support in terms of financing. We can do little without money. Therefore, we need all those that can help us. Civil societies, by monitoring and seeing that there is equity. So I call upon all of us to support this very important aspect of life. I wish now to take the opportunity to support and endorse the plant-based treaty in Uganda, but also Africa and the entire world. May God bless you. Eat plants!
Plant trees!
Eat plants!
Plant trees!